light-skinned Michael Jackson versus dark-skinned Michael Jackson. Who did it better? You're watching Bootleg Black. That's Bootleg Black, my new series here on Brand Video Pro. If you're new here, my name is Kenim. This show is about Black erasure in Black culture. And the question of the day is, would Michael Jackson have been as much of a superstar as he became if he didn't become light-skinned? Would dark-skinned Michael Jackson have been a superstar, like a global phenomenon? I'm talking about the greatest artist of all time. Would he have become all of those things if he remained dark-skinned? It's an interesting conversation, but we have to understand Michael Jackson's circumstances were unique. You know, they were unique, but I want to play this moment right here.
Got a light-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson. Got a dark-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson. I play red.
That's Kanye. Slow jams. So let's talk about it. Michael Jackson addressed the fact that he had vitiligo. So it's not like, you know, according to him, he had a skin disorder, vitiligo, which, as you know, what's her name? Winnie Harlow. Yeah, it causes those things. And back then there was less understanding about skin diseases, or just generally people had little sympathy for any sort of disorder that anyone had. And so let's check this out. Let's see what Michael Jackson had to say about his vitiligo.
Skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin is something that I cannot help.
Is your skin lighter because you don't like being black?
I'm a Black American. I'm proud to be a Black American. I am proud of my race. I am proud of who I am. I have a lot of pride in who I am and dignity. When people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me. And using makeup evens it out because it makes blotches on the skin, and I have to even out my skin. It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it.
So what it appears is that he probably had vitiligo, then probably sought some medication to just sort of whiten the rest of his skin. And it's just an interesting conversation around Michael Jackson and race in general. Here's what he had to say about, even though this is a little bit random, but here's what he had to say about whether his son was black or not.
But blanket's so light.
Black people were called colored people because we come in all colors. From very white, as white as my hand, to very dark, as the dark of your shirt. My father has blue eyes, you know, and when they see Paris, they always think Debbie, but that could easily be my father's genes, you know.
Really?
Of course.
Oh my God, his father's blue eyes. I mean, stop it, Michael. But it's an interesting conversation, right? Light-skinned Michael Jackson versus dark-skinned Michael Jackson. I think Michael Jackson is the greatest of all time. Literally, just watching him perform, even till this day, it just brings chills down my spine. Like, there is no other like Michael Jackson. Let's just, you know. And so the question is, hey. Okay, we're not going to do this right now. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, if you can't tell. Just like something about the rhythm, the beat, the music, and the dancing, and just his presence. The greatest of all time. There's no way that you can even, I love Beyonce. I think Beyonce is phenomenal, but it really says something that Michael Jackson is no longer alive. These videos are from decades ago, and me watching them today still brings chills down my spine. You know, just watching it today, I still get chills. So I can only imagine what it was then. You know, so, but the question is, we know that he's this super juggernaut superstar, but the question really is, if he didn't have lighter skin, because we saw around Thriller is when he started, you know, due to his vitiligo, we saw that's when he started sort of lightening his skin. Did that contribute to his superstardom, his lighter complexion? It might have been a disadvantage for him. It might have been a mistake, but he did end up lightening his skin because of the circumstances. And so what does that say about the state of media? That you have to be a certain complexion as a black person for you to be accepted, right? Or for you to be a superstar. Would he have had the same resources backing him if he was darker skinned? So that's the question. Who did it better? Light-skinned Michael Jackson or dark-skinned Michael Jackson? Who do you think did it better? I love all Michael Jackson. I know that he, like I said, chills down my spine. Greatest to ever do it. Greatest to ever exist. Nobody's ever going to come close to what Michael Jackson has done. It's just done. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Who knows? Maybe there'll be something. I don't think so. I don't think we're building talent the way we were then. I think that was the height of talent. And as much as Beyonce is an evolution of Michael Jackson, I'm still not going to say that when I watch a Beyonce video, I get chills down my spine. I connect with her in a different way. And I think she's the greatest alive. But when I think about Michael Jackson, he's the one and only. Not to compare Beyonce and Michael Jackson. I know people get, upset about that. People compare Beyonce with everybody. She's like the framework for greatness in our time. They compare her to Taylor Swift. They compare her with Rihanna. They compared her with Janet Jackson at one point. They compared her with Michael Jackson. They compare Beyonce with everybody. So she's obviously the greatest. If they're comparing you with people that are not even in your lane, you are clearly the blueprint for our generation. So Beyonce is phenomenal. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying, when it comes to Michael Jackson, I'm just going to hand everything to him. I'm just going to bow down to the king. But the real question I have is, when you think about the media landscape, when you think about black erasure, would Michael Jackson be as big of a superstar as he became if he was still dark-skinned? And when I look at Jason Derulo, and I have a video that I've made on Jason Derulo, you can go check that out. When I look at Jason Derulo, and I don't think he's by any means close to Michael Jackson, but compared to his people in his time, in his era, and thinking about the amount of talent Jason Derulo has, and the fact that he's been shunned by the media, I don't think Michael Jackson would have gotten the backing that he ended up getting if he wasn't lighter skinned. To the effect that he was whiter than white people. So I think that did contribute to his superstardom, and it just so happens, it's almost like for the time, and thinking about the landscape at the time and how racist the world was at the time, it was almost like a mistake. Him having vitiligo, it was almost like a curse, or gift and a curse in a way. It, like, the fact that he did have to bleach his skin to even it out, and it did make him lighter. I'm not justifying bleaching, but he did it because he had vitiligo, and then it also propelled him to become this superstar. But I'm curious to know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. You're watching Brand Video Pro, my new series, Bootleg Black. This series offends a lot of people. A lot of people, for some reason, when it comes to black people, we just don't want to understand or admit or accept colorism as a thing, and we don't want to accept our anti-blackness from within. I made the last video. I got a lot of backlash for that video. I think it's like 140 comments of just people just like gaslighting black people, I presume, just gaslighting the fact that why are light-skinned, predominantly mixed race black people the face of black culture. And then I listed every single industry, every single genre. Let me check Brand Video Pro of black music or just black culture, and it's all mixed race people that dominate in that, and people don't seem to see that as a problem. I broke it down. This video, look, where's my comment? I commented on this. Where is it? Comment section. I commented, and people were so upset. About it. Where the comments? Yeah, the comments are. This is what I said, right? Biggest rapper, Drake, mixed race. Biggest UK rapper, Central C. I don't even think he's black. Biggest female rapper currently, Cardi B and Doja Cat. Doja Cat is mixed. Cardi B is also mixed. right? Biggest breakthrough female rapper, Ice Spice, who is super light. Don't know what her but obviously she's super light. If you look at a DNA level, she's obviously very mixed. Tyla, biggest female act out of Africa, light or mixed race. She's colored in South Africa. Colored means mixed race people, right? R&B male, Chris Brown, light skinned. R&B female, Beyonce. She's foundation of Black American and Creole. Biggest actress, Zendaya. What else do we have to say? Like, people were gaslighting me when I said this, but look, there's something there. There's something to this. We have to be asking these questions. Why is it that you have to be light-skinned or you have to have proximity to whiteness in order for you to be the pinnacle of blackness? And doesn't that make people like, so a lot of people saw that video and thought I was saying that light-skinned people are bootleg black, which is not what I said. That's the name of the series. But we have to ask the question that, why do you have to have proximity to whiteness for you to be at the pinnacle of blackness? Why is it not your blackness that makes you, worthy of being elevated, but it's actually your whiteness? It's actually your whiteness. It's actually the whiteness in you that allows you to be at the pinnacle of blackness. That's what we need to be questioning. And this is not an attack. A lot of people will misconstrue that information and think this is an attack on mixed race people. I think that if you're not anti-black, this includes mixed race people. You should be asking these questions, because it's one thing if it was like, okay, 2 of these categories were only mixed race, but the fact that like every single one of them require for you to be at the pinnacle, you have to be mixed race or multi-generationally mixed for you to be at the top of this. We need to be asking these questions. We need to be pointing our fingers on this. And when I say Michael Jackson, when I bring up Michael Jackson being light-skinned, and that, whether by whatever, divine miracle that he became light-skinned, he literally was white-skinned, but by whatever reason he got there, that is what helped propel him to superstardom. You should be questioning why people's proximity to whiteness is what makes them the face of blackness. That should be a problem for you. And if it's not a problem for you, just question a little bit your anti-blackness. Because for some reason, when it comes to calling out racism and white people, we all are ready to point fingers. But when it's time to call racism, internalized racism, your internalized anti-blackness, and if you live in the capitalistic world, you have some level, some degree of anti-blackness, including myself. All of us have been conditioned in some degree of anti-blackness. We need to be questioning it, looking within and questioning it, not getting defensive, writing silly comments and whatever. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. You're watching Brand Video Pro, my new series, Bootleg Black. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my members only content. And I'll see you next time. A peace.